Well, let's go ahead and call the meeting to order. If you're able, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Mayor Pape,
Here.
Councilmember Shavetta. Here. Councilmember Hands.
Here.
Councilmember Caldwell. Councilmember Leahy.
Here.
Councilmember Neal.
Here.
Councilmember Ryder. Here. Councilmember Silvers.
Here.
Councilmember Yodridge. Here.
Okay, thank you, Madam Clerk. Next item up is the public items. Members of the public are encouraged to use this time to make comments about matters that do not appear on the agenda. Comments about items on the regular agenda will be taken as each item is considered. Please note individuals making public comments will be limited to 5 minutes. We had a sign-up sheet, which is blank. It does not preclude you from still coming forward. Is there anyone in the audience that wants to speak before the council this evening? Just come to the podium. Just rush right up there. Okay. See, nobody rushing. So, all right, well, we'll close out the public items portion of our agenda then. The next item up is the consent agenda. All items listed under this heading are considered to be routine by the City Council, may be enacted by one motion. There'll be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member so requests, in which case that item be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. We do have several on the list this evening, so is there any council member that would like to have anything removed? I see nobody raising their hand, so I would entertain a motion then for the consent agenda. Okay, go ahead, Mr. Silvers.
Mr. Mayor, I move that the council approve consent agenda items 1 through 3.
Okay, we have a motion. We have a second. Over here. Does somebody raise their hand? Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Mayor, second.
All right, we have a motion to second. Madam Clerk?
Councilmember Shavetta.
Aye.
Councilmember Hands.
Aye.
Councilmember Leahy.
Aye.
Councilmember Neal.
Aye.
Councilmember Ryder.
Aye.
Councilmember Silvers.
Aye.
Councilmember Yodridge.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Okay, that was not on the consent agenda, so, yeah, I guess it was. All right. Check that one off too. Okay, it looks like the next item up is the mayor's report. And this evening, I do have a proclamation that I'd like to read. This is a City of Merriam proclamation, which is always fun to have. And I will read these. Whereas we commemorate the Stonewall Rebellion that occurred in June 1969 in New York City that gave birth to the modern lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender LGBT civil rights movement. And whereas LGBTQ plus pride is defined as the positive stance against discrimination and violence toward lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and others to promote their self-affirmation, dignity, equality rights, increase the visibility as a social group, build community, and celebrate sexual diversity and gender variance. And whereas members of the City of Merriam's LGBTQ plus community contribute greatly to the neighborhood revitalization, economic vitality, arts and culture, and the social fabric of our city, county, state, and country. And whereas the City of Merriam prides itself on its inclusiveness and protects its residents from discrimination and harassment based on race, color, sex, religion, disability, age, marital status, place of birth, families with children, sexual orientation, or national origin, and we are committed to continued social progress in the cause of human rights, celebrating the great diversity of our community. Now therefore I, Bob Pape, by the virtue of the authority vested in me as the mayor of Merriam, Kansas, do hereby proclaim June 2023 as LGBTQ plus Pride Month in the City of Merriam and urge all citizens to join in ending prejudice everywhere that may exist, respect the rights of all people, and celebrate the diversity and richness of our city and county. Proclaim this 12th day of June 2023, Bob Pape, Mayor. Okay, thank you. Okay. All right, then I have couple other things here for the mayor's report. One of the things, I attended the Johnson County and Wyandotte County Mayor's Dinner at the Olathe Courthouse. We had an excellent turnout of state legislators on both the House and the Senate side. Each gave a presentation of the committees they served on and what was and wasn't accomplished during the legislative session. Mr. Engel and I attended the Mid-America Regional Council MARC award ceremony at the Crown Center. Numerous individuals were recognized for their outstanding contributions to the metro area. Our very own retired Chief Diener was one of those that was recognized at this event. I, Councilmember Leahy and Silvers, attended the Party in the Park festivities. I think that was the only three that turned out. Mr. Silvers turns out is a very good cook on the grill. He was really handling the hot dogs over there. So kudos to you. But our Park and Rec staff obviously did an excellent job in putting on the event. Face painting, there was a band, food, bouncy house, cornhole, Jenga, and other games were available. I recommend anybody that hasn't attended one of those events in the city, those are housed at different parks throughout the summer season. Please attend and take advantage of that. Our Public Works Department, our Public Community Park and Rec Department, and Public Works, I'm sure, has some help in there too, does a great job of putting those events on. And I also promised the police chief that I would mention our upcoming Citizens Academy sponsored by the police department. This program gives the community an opportunity to learn more about our department and its functions and how it functions. Attendees will actually get to perform some of the same skills as our officers, and everyone needs everyone needs to attend the academy at least once in their lifetime, and you might even get the opportunity to be tased. Now, I don't know this for a fact, but I think the chief said if I could get 20 people there, he'd let me tase him. So, I'm just hoping that we get that many. Class starts August 23rd and ends on October 25th. It meets on Wednesdays between 6 and 9 p.m. And an application for that academy can be found on our website. So please go there to get it. I know I've attended. I know numerous council members have attended. So, but it's open to everybody. So please attend if you can. And we had a great turnout at the, we're calling it our Fab Four. Councilmember Yodridge, Jenna, Todd, and Cole represented the city at the Northeast Golf Tournament. Northeast Chamber. I did not finish my sentence today. The Northeast Chamber puts on that event every year, and we try to sponsor that. And those were the people that represented us. Did a great job. I think they came in like 20 under par or something. It was, well, maybe not quite that, but it was really good. I don't think they got, everybody gets a trophy. Yeah. Anyway, but it's my understanding that two of our own local businesses here in Merriam, Spirit Life and also Julie Stoll from State Farm Insurance, sponsored two of the holes over there this year. So we had some local representation of our business right here in Merriam for that event as well. So that concludes my mayor's report. First item up on council items we have this evening is acknowledged receipt of the 2022 Independent Auditor's Report. Looks like we have Director Oliver coming to the podium.
Good evening. This completes the 2020 audit. Tonight we have Tara Laughlin from AGH, our auditors, coming to kind of make a brief presentation. I also just wanted to, I don't know if you guys all know them or not, but the two people who assist me in finance, Sherry Long, wave your hand, and Trish Wirtz are here tonight, and I cannot even begin to say that all of this couldn't be done without their hard work. It really is getting ready for the auditors, and then when they're here is a pretty intensive operation, and they're very competent, good women. So with that, I will let you talk to Tara and let her tell you all about us.
Thank you.
Good evening.
If you could give your name and the company that
Yep.
you're with.
I'm Tara Laughlin. I'm a vice president in our assurance practice at Allen Gibbs and Hulick. And as Donna mentioned, I'm here tonight to do the presentation on the results of the fiscal year 2022 audit. Primarily what I'll be talking about tonight is our governance letter that we addressed to the board to go over our required communications. Before I get into that, Donna stole my thunder. Just want to thank Donna, Trish, and Sherry. And there's multiple other people throughout the city that we bug during the audit process for their help. The audit always goes very efficiently. We get support very quickly when we ask for it, so I just want to thank them for their help throughout that process. Just a reminder, the services that we provide to the city is issuing opinion on the annual comprehensive financial report. Likely next year we will be doing a single audit as well, but currently you just haven't expended all of the ARPA funds that would require that. So for this year it was just a financial statement audit. We did issue an unmodified or clean opinion on the financial statements, which means that the information in the financial statements materially reflects the books and records of the city for fiscal year 22. Now I'm going to go through this letter and highlight just things that are specific to this year's audit. Towards the bottom of the first page, if you're following along, there was no significant new accounting standards adopted. So if you're looking at this year's financial report to last year's, any changes aren't because things are accounted for differently. It would be because of change in activity. I do want to highlight, because we have talked about this the last few years, there was a significant standard on how to report leases, but we did a bunch of detailed evaluation of that activity, and it just wasn't significant for the city. So while that was implemented, it wasn't really impactful to the city's financial statements. On the second page, we are required to also discuss any significant accounting estimates that are in the financial statements, as not all numbers are hard, fast, known numbers. There is some estimation involved. Those items are the same as they have been in prior years. Most of them relate to payroll-related activities, compensated absences, estimating the sick vacation liabilities that employees have accrued, total other post-employment benefit liabilities. This relates to healthcare of retirees, and it also incorporates a little bit of the CAPERS death and disability plan that most cities in the state participate in. And then the last item is the net pension liability, which is the city's share of the CAPERS retirement pension plan liability. Our responsibilities related to those estimates is to attain an understanding of how management determines the amount of the liabilities that's recorded in the financials, make sure that's in line with accounting standards. We also review, in the last two items, the actuarial reports that kind of determine what that liability is for reasonableness. And in all cases, we found that those estimates are being done reasonably and in line with the accounting standards. Also, on the bottom of page 7, we are required to discuss any audit adjustments or incorrect misstatements that happened during the audit process. We only had one audit adjustment, so overall a very clean audit. And it was just at the fund level to defer recognizing some revenue for some amounts that weren't received within 60 days after year end. It's just required from accounting standards perspective for the kind of front financials that reflect more of a corporate style of accounting that is recognized. So it just affects a couple of the statements, and overall the amounts aren't too significant. We did not have any uncorrected misstatements. What those are items that might come up that we didn't actually record an adjustment and reflect in the financials, but we didn't have any of that. So again, overall a very clean audit with only one audit adjustment. On page 3, kind of in the middle of the page, I always like to point this out. We didn't have any disagreements with management throughout the audit process. Again, everybody's very open and quick to get us information as we request it. So again, a very efficient audit. One new thing I do want to point out in the letter this year, nothing really changed as far as audit standards go, but we are more clearly discussing in this letter our responsibility for independence, both our responsibility as a firm and the city's responsibility as a client. So again, nothing changed. It's just outlined and provides some more information on how independence is maintained between the accounting firm and the client. On page 4, again, we always like to highlight just the cybersecurity risk. I think that's always going to be in the letter moving forward with the way that world in IT is happening. So again, just some information there for the council to look at and consider, you know, whether you want to ask some questions of IT individually about that, but just to make sure that you're comfortable with the cybersecurity as it relates to the city. And the rest of the information in there, again, is just kind of general information that we do provide to all of our clients just to kind of keep you in the loop of up-to-date of best business practices. So again, in summary, a very clean audit, and I'm happy to answer any questions any of the council members may have.
We have any questions for Tara? See them that way? Maybe there? My gosh, you must have done an excellent job.
Okay.
Thank you for providing that service for us. Okay. Well, we're moving right along. Next item up, according to this, is that we're having an executive session. Is that correct, Mr. Engel? And, yep. Okay, that's evidently concerning personnel matters. I would entertain a motion for that to go to executive session. We're going.
Okay.
Looks like we have Ms. Hands.
Yes,
Okay, go
I would
ahead.
like to make that motion.
Please do.
Please. I move that the governing body recess into executive session to discuss the appointment of the Public Works Director pursuant to KSA 7543-19B1, which allows the governing body to recess into executive session to discuss personnel matters of non-elected personnel. Present will be the governing body, city administrator, human resource manager, and city attorney. The meeting will reconvene in the council chambers at 7:40. 7:40.
Okay, we have a motion. Do I have a second? Shadowich.
Mr. Mayor, second.
Okay, we have a motion, a second. Madam Clerk?
Councilmember Hands.
Aye.
Councilmember Leahy.
Aye.
Councilmember Neal.
Aye.
Councilmember Ryder.
Aye.
Councilmember Silvers.
Aye.
Councilmember Yodrich.
Aye.
Councilmember Shavetta.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Okay, somewhere we'll be meeting in the back. Okay. Cool. I think we are officially back. Looks like 7:40 to me. Coming back from executive session, I think we have a motion that we'd like to bring forward. I think Ms. Hands?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. We didn't talk about if we were going to have Christopher talk about the process or anything.
Oh, we didn't ask about that. Do you want to share that?
I certainly can give an
Mr. Engel?
overview of the process, just for the folks in the public to, that we had a vacancy in our Public Works Department at the director position. So we did a call for interested applicants. Had a lot of good turnout from folks that have a variety of experiences in public works, in management, in city management, engineering, variety of backgrounds. We were able to narrow it down to 5, which we brought in to interview 5 folks in front of a panel that was made up of myself, Stephanie Thompson from HR, Randy Fine, our street superintendent, Jennifer Jones-Lacey, Assistant City Administrator, Mayor Pape, Council President Hands. Great interviews. We had lots of good questions, lots of good feedback from the applicants. At the conclusion of that, we had 2 applicants that we moved on to the next phase. The next phase was putting them together with our department heads. This is kind of our pressure test for fit, to kind of throw everybody into a vehicle together and to go to lunch or go to coffee or go to breakfast, kind of leave it up to department heads. Because again, we are a small shop, so it's important that fit is something that we have in our organization. Got good feedback at the conclusion of both of those meetings and went to lunch with both of the applicants. At the conclusion of that, we clearly had one best, and I think even before that, we had clearly had one best applicant for our Public Works Director position, and that was Celia Duran-Kumke. I hope I said that right. Who is the Public Works Director with the City of Mission. Lots of great experience. She is a professional engineer by trade, which is something we haven't had on staff for quite a while. Since actually Haejin Lee was our last PE, I believe, on staff. So that's a great addition to have that knowledge pool and experience at the staff level. And so after chatting with her and chatting with some references, she's clear number one recommendation to the council. So that being said, unless there's any questions, I would make a recommendation for the council to confirm her appointment. With pleasure, please.
Yes.
I see no questions. Okay.
And given that explanation, with pleasure, I'd like to make the motion that the council accept the recommendation of the mayor and city administrator and confirm the appointment of Celia Duran-Kumpke as Public Works Director for Merriam.
Do we have a motion? I hear a second. Ms. Ryder?
Mr. Mayor, I second.
Okay, we have a motion second. Madam Clerk?
Councilmember Leahy.
Aye.
Councilmember Neal.
Aye.
Councilmember Ryder.
Aye.
Councilmember Silvers.
Aye.
Councilmember Yodrich.
Aye.
Councilmember Shavetta.
Aye.
Councilmember Hands.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Okay, thank you. Good job. Good. I would- Well, Director Kumpke, I would invite you to come to the podium if you would like to address the council. If you at least let people know who you are.
Well, good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm Celia Kumpke, and I want to thank you for the opportunity to allow me to work for the city and be part of Team Merriam. As Chris Engel, City Administrator, touched on, it was a lengthy interview process, but I got the opportunity to meet a lot of wonderful people, and everybody was very welcoming, very passionate, and very dedicated and professional. So I'm really excited to be part of that. I can't wait to get started, and I'm looking forward to jumping in and serving as your Public Works Director. Thank you.
Okay. Well, we welcome you to Team Merriam.
Thank you.
All right. We'll see more of you. Yeah. It appears, it's been brought to my attention by Council President Hands that I failed in my duties here as the mayor to acknowledge that we had acknowledged receipt of our financial independent auditors report. So I'd like to bring that up for a motion.
Mr. Mayor,
Ms. Hands.
I move that the council acknowledge receipt of the 2022 Independent Auditors Report.
Thank you. Do I hear a second? Ms. Shadrich.
Mr. Mayor, second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, Madam Clerk.
Councilmember Neal.
Aye.
Councilmember Ryder.
Aye.
Councilmember Silvers.
Aye.
Councilmember Yodrich.
Aye.
Councilmember Shavetta.
Aye.
Councilmember Hands.
Aye.
Councilmember Leahy.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Looks like next item would be staff items, the June CIP update. Got Superintendent Fine is coming to the podium.
All right, good evening, Mayor and Council. I've got your June CIP update. First on the list is 55th Street. Kansas Heavy has completed, at this time, all the punch list items. Unfortunately, there was some issues with the sod, so they're going to have to come back and finish that up in the fall. I don't think at this point it's going to survive, so we're going to keep them on the hook until the fall season for sod. If it comes back, then they're good. Merriam Drive, kind of the same thing from last month. BHC is still working with the utility companies to see if there's any changes in the new street design. And then hopefully go to bid sometime September, October for this project. And then last is the 50th Terrace in England to Kessler drainage project. Had a chance to look at the plans. They're still making altercations to the utilities with the sanitary sewer kind of crossings that they're trying to adjust. So they're still working with them. Yeah, just getting the plans kind of just working through them. I guess before questions, like I did last time, 75th, looks great. got that done last week. And then I know it's not our project, but Shawnee Mission Parkway, it's still probably on schedule for another month or so. So I want to give it up to Water One for helping out any tweaks that they make. Any requests that come in, they're pretty fast to help alleviate some of those complaints. So any questions? Yes.
Ms. Ryder?
The sod on 55th Street, are we watering it?
They failed to water it.
Okay.
So that's what happens. I think the good portion of it was Memorial Weekend. There was 3 days. It was hot. Yeah, we've been on them, but at this point, it's going to be back on them.
I have another hot sod question.
Uh-oh.
Do we send out letters to the people that the failing sod affects, or do we wait for them just to reach out to us?
It's probably not a bad idea. At least in the back of someone's mind, they need to know that it's not accepted. So, yeah, maybe we can do that. Get at least a, hey, just so you know, the sod has not been accepted. So, yeah, and your council knows as well.
We could maybe do some door hangers. Maybe.
Sure.
That way we can pick the specific ones
Yeah.
as opposed to just blanket.
Yeah.
Everyone. Yeah, we'll
Okay.
work on that.
I know that it was, the residents were wondering if it was their responsibility or the company's responsibility. So if you want to let them know that they didn't do anything wrong.
Sure. Yeah, they're required to, I think it's like 21 days after it's placed to water it. So, unfortunate.
Any other questions for Superintendent Fine? Okay. I see no
Thank
other
you.
questions. Thank you, sir. Okay. We have the Park and Rec Advisory Board minutes and the 5701 committee minutes. We're in our packets, and I don't see Director Slocum here this evening, so I don't guess you can ask her any questions. If you did, please reach out to her in your convenience if you have questions concerning those two items. We do have Chief Grant Warnicki is sitting in this evening, so for those of you that might wonder who that gentleman is sitting over there, he's with Overland Park Fire Department. We appreciate you being here, Chief. So, we have any other thing for the before us this evening, Mr. Ingram?
Just two quick items. The first, again, just to echo, I believe, the mayor's comments. Thank you to council members, members of the public that volunteered at the Party in Park and Brown Park. Those are always fantastic events, and we couldn't do them without volunteers. So I know if Anna was here, she would put that call out for thanks to the folks that have participated to make those successful events. The other one is just simply to say these are awesome. I know they're in the packet, I think, but like these are the go-to documents other than the budget book that the city produces. Please read them, internalize what's in them. They answer lots of questions of how we run the organization, and they're just great looking. They're award-winning, correct, Jenna? Yes, they are award-winning periodicals that our staff puts together, and just another way that we try to be transparent and make very complex ideas and concepts and ideas about fund accounting accessible to the public, and really make lots of pictures, graphs, make it accessible for folks. So just a pitch for these. These are fantastic. If you don't have these public, please check them out. They are fantastic. Got a lot of good information. Other than that, I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Any questions, Mr. Engel? Okay.
I don't have a question, but I was
yes,
just
go
going to say
ahead.
that if anyone cares,
Sure.
the PDFs are on the website too, under the finance section, so that's helpful.
And you can compare them to last year's.
Yep.
So you can see how they have evolved over the years. So
Awesome. Any other questions? Comments? Well, hearing and seeing none, I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Ms. Hans.
I will make a motion that we adjourn.
We have a motion on the floor. We have a second. Ms. Yandridge.
Mr. Mayor, second.
We have a motion second, Madam Clerk?
All in favor?
I
Meeting's adjourned.